Hey everyone, it's Alice, and I'm here today with April's edition of Book Box Battle. So if you're new here, Book Box Battle is a monthly feature on this channel in which we pit Illumicrate, OwlCrate and FairyLoot up against each other. This year so far it has been neck and neck between OwlCrate and Illumicrate, OwlCrate with 2 wins and Illumicrate with 1 win. FairyLoot are trailing mightily behind in the dust, and I'm not sure whether it's going to get any better from here. I'm apprehensive. I'm very excited about this month because I think this may be our first duplicate book month. From what I can remember, I think OwlCrate and FairyLoot are doing the same book in this month's box, but we are working quite ahead of ourselves with book box announcements recently, so I might be remembering wrong. I might be remembering it the other way around. It might be next month. So we're in for a wild ride. So because I've been struggling with FairyLoot this year, we are going to start with their box, but we are also going to pause for 20 to 30 seconds because I've just remembered I forgot to pose for thumbnails at the beginning, and if I don't do it now then I'll forget to do it and Sean will kill me.
3 hours later.
There we go. FairyLoot time. Can they disappoint me as much as they've been disappointing me this year so far? I really hope not, because when I first subscribed to FairyLoot they were my favourite box by far. I thought the book picks were the most exciting. I thought the kind of I've forgotten all of my words. The special editions that they picked and the ways that they curated them, like the stenciled edges, the quality of the overall product was amazing, and they also picked really high quality items. But I feel like a few months ago they dropped down an item instead of raising the price to try to make things better for the subscriber. And I feel like it's backfired. I feel like the quality of the box has declined quite rapidly, and I think that paying a bit extra to maintain the quality that we had all grown accustomed to would have been better. So I'm nervous, but we're just going to dive in because it can't get worse than it is in my head. I hope. I hope. Packaging paper. Oh, okay, so we've got the spoiler card, which is, so far, definitely confirming my suspicions that this is going to be a 2-book month for me. So we have, is this a bowl cozy? Yes! Oh, I think this is the first bowl cozy that FairyLoot have done. I've got 2 so far that are from OwlCrate, and they're really, really high quality, very, very thick. This feels a little bit thinner, but also I have 2 children that like to use a bowl cozy each, so I don't always get to use one. So this is going to come in handy in my family, whether it's a little bit thinner or not. I can always use this as my one so that the kids have the really well insulated ones. This is inspired by Violet Made of Thorns and is designed by Blanca Design. We then have socks, and I really enjoy a sock month. I know a lot of people don't like socks because they say it's a bit exclusionary, because if you're out of like the standard sock sizes, then you can't always use them. But luckily I am within the standard sock sizes, and the socks that they do I find very comfortable, very thick, very hard wearing. I don't walk through them as quickly as I walk through most pairs of socks. And these have a big eye on them, and then on the foot it says True Story, which is quite cute. I love the colour. And I do like the fact that they always seem to do like a bit of white on the sock, but like the majority of the design will be the different colour, because I think it just makes it pop really nicely. It's similar to their Caves Water socks, but I wouldn't like it if they were like completely white. And these are inspired by Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, and the art is by Jez Hawk. We then have another book sleeve. We're getting a lot of book sleeves this year. I do appreciate them. I do think that they are a useful item. They're normally quite high quality. The art choices are normally quite beautiful. But I'm starting to get to the stage where I've got a hell of a lot of these things, and I don't have that many books that I'm trying to take on the go. This says, we should appreciate the flower regardless of its roots, and that is by Sue Lynn Tan. So I'm thinking that must be from Daughter of the Moon Goddess. Is that right? Is that right? Yes. And this is also designed by Blanca Design. But yeah, again, very, very thick, very good quality. Oh, very smooth and soft on the inside, so the book is going to be living in luxury in there. I don't know why I'm holding it out like you can feel it. But yeah, that's very beautiful. One of the nicer book sleeves that I've had, but I am starting to get quite a lot. Also, I love the fact, because a lot of people complain about the fact that FairyLoot make all of their books purple. They don't do it so much anymore, but there was a string of time there where basically every time they announced a special edition, they changed it so it was purple. 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 So the purple haters are not going to be having a good month this month, and I am here for that because purple's my favourite colour. So we've then got, at the bottom of the box, the tarot cards, which are the 5 of stars and the 6 of stars. And I think these are also probably going to be Daughter of Smoke and Bone, because I know that the lead character in that is called Karoo, and she has blue hair. Akiva as the 5 of stars and Karoo as the 6 of stars. So yes, I was correct about that. And this is art by Sarah Mirza Art. Those really pop. Those are really cool. And then we've also got foil bookmarks in here. I love the foil bookmarks. I think the bookmarks are always useful, and I love having the artwork with just a little dash of foil on it. It's one of my, like, most favourite aesthetics. So these are really, really stunning. So this is actually a very good box for me. This feels a lot more tailored to my tastes than a lot of the boxes that we've had recently. These are by Grace Zoo Art. And then we also have at the bottom here an art print. So we're getting more items again, it feels like. Hang on, was it meant to be 4 items? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So yeah, we've got an extra item again this month. So they're obviously listening to the fact that people aren't happy with what they've been including so far, and they're making an effort. They're putting in more useful items, but they're still doing like little collectible kind of art prints as well. So that's quite nice. And this is by Saltese, and this is Aaron Warner from the Shatter Me series, which I haven't read yet, but I know that it's very, very well loved, so that will probably go down well with a lot of fans. So, loving the box so far. Now I am just looking forward to seeing what they've done with the book, because this has gone much better than I thought it would compared to the FairyLoot of the last few months. So we've got a navy blue. And we've got, lots of bits. Okay, so you've got like the spoiler card bookmark. We've got an art print with the author letter on the back. And this is by Risa Art. That's a new artist that they're working with. I don't recognise that name at all. I like the style. And this is Silver in the Bone by Alexandra Bracken. I've been very excited about this, and I'm not really sure why. I'm pretty sure it's Arthurian. We will read the blurb and find out. But I'm pretty sure it is an Arthurian kind of inspired story, even if it's not strictly a retelling. Ooh, that's a choice. That is a choice. They've gone with the sword on the pages, and the sword is very wiggly. It looks like it's made of water. I'm not... This is going to sound wrong. I'm not opposed to a wiggly sword. My sword on the Atlas 6, way back, the first adult FairyLoot pick that they ever did, my sword was slightly wiggly, and Sean was so aggrieved by it. He was angry. He was like, well, why would they put a sword in there if they can't make it straight? So this is going to trigger the hell out of him. But I actually kind of like it. It looks like it's made of water, and I think that the fact that it is like water at the bottom, I don't know if that's purposeful, but I think most people are going to probably think that this is a sword gone wrong. I'm going to see other people's editions of this as other people do their unboxings, and it's going to be perfectly straight, and I'm going to be like, why have I got the weird watery one? But I'm kind of here for it. I like that. Oh, that's also a choice. They've completely taken the title off of the spine. So how the hell am I going to know what that is when that's on my shelf? I don't like reverse dust jacket artwork, because 9 times out of 10 it doesn't put the author's name and the title on the spine, so you can't tell what it is when it's on your bookshelf. So that really pisses me off. Oh, why would you ruin it? It was going so well. I liked the wiggly sword. I could get on board with the wiggly sword, but this I can't get on board with. But it is signed in a very beautiful kind of pale purple. I've got a feeling it might be... Oh no, I thought it was digitally signed, but that's definitely physically signed. That's leaking through the other side of the page. And then we've also got character artwork of a girl stood in a corridor. Library? Corridor in a library. And character artwork of a boy stood near a doorway. Oh, okay, they've redeemed themselves. I'm gonna stop complaining. We've got the spine! And we've got the characters. They look a lot younger than I thought they were going to be. This is definitely looking like it's on the younger end of YA, which is an interesting choice. But I do think that, like, oh, I don't know. I like the original cover with the foiling, but I hate what they've done with the spine. But then I like the spine, and then I'm not really a fan of the, oh no. This is conflicting. I don't know why this is one of my most anticipated releases of the year. Something about it just grabbed me. Even though I hate Arthurian stuff. But I have it now, and I'm excited, even if I'm not convinced by this edition. But the artwork on the end papers and the hardcover is by Alyce. So let's crack this open and find what it's about. As the disclaimer, if this is the same book for OwlCrate as well, I'm not going to read out the blurb twice. So if you are surprised by the fact that the editing looks a bit weird there, it's just because normally we edit in like the close-ups over me reading out the blurb, and I'm not going to do it twice in one video. But here we go. Tamsin Lark is a hollower, breaking into the ancient crypts of dark sorceresses in search of the treasures inside. Now rumours are swirling about a powerful ring from Arthurian legend, a ring that could free her brother Cable from a curse. But they aren't the only ones who covet it. As word spreads, greedy hollowers start circling, and many would kill to have the ring for themselves. Tamsin is forced into an alliance with her rival Emrys, the last person she wants to rely on. Together they dive headfirst into a viper's nest of dark magic and expose a deadly secret with the power to awaken ghosts of the past and shatter her last hope of saving her brother. It definitely seems like kind of standard YA. You've got like, oh, my brother's in peril, I'm going to team up with my enemy to try and get this magical item. But it just sounds really interesting, and I'm excited for it. And I've been excited for it for a while, and I nearly pre-ordered the Waterstones edition, even though it was just a standard edition that was signed. So I'm glad I waited. And I love my wiggly sword, I'm not going to lie. But 9 times out of 10, Legendborn being the exception, I really don't like Arthurian stuff, so I don't know why I feel so drawn to this. But I am, and it's going to be my first Alexandra Bracken read, because I just haven't picked anything of hers up yet. But that's changing. Illumicrate. OwlCrate won last month, so now it's time for Illumicrate. And I'm excited because Illumicrate have been stepping up their game so much recently, and they have clearly been listening to feedback, and I just want to see what's going on in here, especially because they aren't doing Silver in the Bone, and I can't remember what they are doing, so there's going to be a surprise book in this box, and that's a nice thing. Ooh, okay, it's Be My Enemy. April 2023. So we will look at that to find out the artists and any fandoms that I might not recognise. Oh, this is, oh wow, this is filled. Right, so we've got a big old white box. It's fine. I know a lot of people like them, but like I'm a little frustrated. Drinkware! We always get, it's either a mug or a teacup or a, I don't even remember what these are called, like just plastic tumbler. And I have so many things, and Sean keeps telling me to like get rid of them, but then I'm like, well, I haven't read from some of the fandoms, so I don't want to get rid of it in case I end up loving the book and then I want to buy it back. And so I just have drinkware that I don't use absolutely everywhere in my house, and it's frustrating when it keeps happening. This is the Vermilion Bird, and it's one of the more interesting ones that they've done, don't get me wrong. I don't think they've done one with red plastic before, but I'm also just a little bit kind of done with, especially because it's all the book boxes, and if they're looking at what the other boxes are doing, they know that they're all doing mugs and travel mugs and drink, yeah. So sorry, just going on a little rant about the general inclusion of drinkware. I like the fact that it's useful. It's a useful item. I'm just a little bit exasperated with the fact that it seems like it features so regularly as an item. I know everybody drinks, but also not many people change drinkware that regularly. I still drink from the same mug I drank from like 7 years ago. It's a good mug. But the Vermilion Bird is inspired by Iron Widow and designed by Vicky Lester at Florensics and Flowers. I'm not opposed to the design on it. I like the design. I'm just a little bit oversaturated with drinkware in my life. We then have, oh, pin banner. Oh, I must have had at least one from Illumicrate before because I've got like a lot of them. but I haven't had one in a while, and I like a pin banner because I can fit all of my pins onto the banners. We're going to eventually hang them down our staircase, but we tried to do that with the command strips and they were too heavy. Or, well, it wasn't even that, the command strips were just like faulty, they weren't sticky at all. But eventually this will hang and it will have pins all over it, and that's very, very pretty. I'm assuming possibly inspired by Shadow and Bone, because it looks a little bit like the symbols for that. Oh, a Farseer pin banner. This is inspired by the Realm of the Eldlings by Robin Hobb. Ooh, I don't think there's been a Realm of the Eldlings item before that I can remember. And this is designed by Niall Grant at Niall C. Grant. And I always really like Niall's artwork. And I love the way that they do it with like this like sprinkle of foil and then kind of the bigger colour in the background. So I'm a big fan of that. And that will definitely get some use. And I do have that new OwlCrate pin collection. Oh my god, I hadn't even considered the fact that I was going to get another one of those. But I haven't got a banner that those can go on yet, and they might look quite nice with this. I'm plotting in my head now. But yes, very excited to have another one of those, which is less oversaturated than the drinkware. Not something you get as regularly. Then we've got, please don't let this be cutlery. If this is cutlery, I'm going to just flip. There's too much cutlery. It's a sword! Oh, okay. And this is stuck in the bubble wrap. It's very sparkly. It's got like an eye hole at the top here, which is very cool. And it's got like glitter. Oh my god, the glitter is coming off all over me. I regret touching this. But there's glitter all the way, like, in all of the grooves and all the way around the outside, which is very beautiful. I have no idea what this is inspired by. It's a Sword of Truth replica. This is from Throne of Glass, and it's by Stacey McAvoy Caunt. Well, I still haven't read Throne of Glass, but it's very, very pretty. It's just I don't really have any need for the sword replicas, so I unhaul them all and give them to my friend so that he can use them on his bookstagram that he's trying to start up. So this will also be going to my friend's house. He's going to get sick of swords, especially ones that are covered in glitter like that. But yeah, like I can imagine that that's going to be a very, very popular item because people do love the sword replicas. It's just not for me, unfortunately. So then we've got, oh no, something else that is really not for me. Another Rosie Thorns papercraft kit. People love Rosie Thorns artwork. I feel like it would be more effective to just feature a Rosie Thorns print. I know that Rosie has her own Patreon and I know that people can buy the prints quite easily, but I don't like the papercraft kits. I don't have enough time to do them. I'm not very crafty, so I feel like I would just fuck it up. Just to be brutally honest. And like that looks pretty. That would not look that pretty if I'd made it. I'm realistic about that. So this just always, like, every time they include one of these, and I think this is the third one now, it just feels like a waste of paper and a waste of an item. I'm sure other people are beginning to like come around to them because I know there was a lot of upset when they announced they were doing these. I'm sure a lot of people are beginning to change their minds and they're enjoying them. I stick with that original opinion and I don't like it. Maybe I'll try them one day and I'll change my mind, but I have no inclination to try them. But that is inspired by Rin from the Poppy War, and as I said, it's designed by Rosie Thorns 88. So this has been a bit of a meh box for me, which is a shame because I feel like for a lot of people, again, it feels like Illumicrate tick all the boxes, just not for me personally. Because I always get comments from all of you guys saying, I would have picked Illumicrate. I would have thought Illumicrate would be the winner. Illumicrate was my winner. And I agree with you, like, Illumicrate do great boxes. And objectively, I can say, like, this is good. Like, you've got something to interact with that isn't just going to go to waste. You've got a replica, so it's good for people who like items to display. You've got the tumbler, which is good for people who like useful items. So they are trying to do a wide range of items. It's just, for me personally, it just doesn't do it for me. And I know that that's an unpopular opinion, but I can't change it. So I love the pin banner. I will use the pin banner, and I'm glad that I have the pin banner because this alone feels worth the money to me because I will get a lot of use out of it and I really love the design. But overall, I could have skipped this month, which is not something I often say. But now we're going to have a look at the book, so that might change. This book might change my mind. I have no idea what it is. I have no idea about anything about it. So we're going to find out together. Ooh, it's got a very... Oh my god, the shimmery cover. Okay, see? Like, this is why I didn't skip the box, because this is pretty. Ooh, this is Some Desperate Glory by Emily Tesh. I've never heard of it. Ooh! Galaxy print. Who does? Oh my god, and it's on all three edges. Who doesn't love the galaxy print? Ah, that's pretty. And this is signed bookplate. And we have even more shimmery. So we've got some end paper artwork here with like a person stood in the background and then a lady looking at some curtains. I'm not sure what's going on there. The foiling on the dust jacket says, "While we live, the enemy shall fear us. We are what's left. We are what must survive." That sounds threatening. And then we have at the other end, ooh, they're like stood in a globe and there's some like breaking things. I have no idea what's going on here, but it's definitely compelling. Let's find out what the book's about. While we live, the enemy shall fear us. We are what's left. We are what must survive. All her life, Kerr has trained for the day she can avenge the destruction of planet Earth. Raised on Gaia Station alongside the last scraps of humanity, she is one of the best warriors of her generation, the sword of a dead planet. Then Command assigns her brother to certain death and relegates her to the nursery to bear sons, and she knows she must take humanity's revenge into her own hands. Alongside her brother's brilliant but seditious friend and a lonely captive alien, Kerr must escape from everything she's ever known. If she succeeds, she will find a universe far more complicated than she was taught, and far more wondrous than she could ever have imagined. What did I say about Silver in the Bone? Sounds like pretty standard YA. You've got a girl and then her brother's in trouble. She's got to team up with an enemy. Oh no, it's just the same story. I mean, not quite. This is a brilliant but seditious friend. This is not like an abject enemy. It doesn't sound as interesting as the cover makes it look. I will probably give it a go because I do like spacey books. But I am surprised because they do seem to be going more towards spacey books at the moment. And that's not something that Illumicrate's ever really done before. So that definitely feels like there's a shift in their reading tastes. Like we had the Red Scholar's Wake a couple of months ago and now we've got this one. And they seem very unusual for Illumicrate book picks. But they've made an absolutely stunning design with it. They've made it really, really beautiful. And they've made me feel interested in picking it up even though I'd never heard of it before. So we'll count it as a win. So overall in that box, I don't think we've got a winner. But I also really don't like the fact that FairyLoot changed the spine so that it didn't have the book's title on it. So potentially we do have a winner. We'll just have to see what's going on with OwlCrate. So OwlCrate have been absolute babes this year. They've been throwing everything at their boxes and they have been succeeding. It's been sticking. It's been great. They've been doing book journals. They've been doing blankets. They've been doing pins that like open like books monthly. Like OwlCrate have been investing so much into this and they are getting a return for it, I can tell you that. So I'm excited to see what they do because if they've redesigned Silver in the Bone and I don't hate it, then maybe they might win again. Which I never thought I would say because there was a time there when OwlCrate didn't win for like 8 or 9 months. They were always second. But it was like Illumicrate would be first and then third and then FairyLoot would lose and then they'd win. But OwlCrate were always just a bit meh. But now they just blow me away so much and I am pumped to see if they can do that again. And I'm going to stop talking and just open it because I want to. Oh, I've managed to get my pin envelope in with all the puffy stuff. That would have been embarrassing. Right. Let us see what the 4th Treasured Tomes pin is because the first 3 have been stunning. Ooh, what is this? We've got a grimoire. Ooh, and then it opens up and it says, property of the Great Library of Summershall. It's got the little, like, library card with, like, the date stamps and the borrower's names. And then it has a big sword on it. That's really cool. And this is based on Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson and designed by No One Designs. So I have not read this series. I don't know anything about it. I do own it. Standalone? I'll find that out. But it's very, very beautiful. And I just love the detailing. The absolute detailing. I know you won't be able to see this very clearly. You'll be able to see it on the close-up. But the detailing that is going into these tiny, tiny pins. It blows my mind every month and I love it. And I didn't think anything was going to beat the little literary luggage pins that they did last year. And I was really sad that they weren't doing those this year. I'm not sad anymore. Then we have a little pouch that says The Scorched Bone, London, Macked, established 2015. Scars are not shameful, not unless you let them be. If you do not wear them, they will wear you, by V. Schwab. So I'm guessing this is inspired by Dark Shade Magic? What are you? Ooh, White London, hinged travel pocket. Okay. Coins, cables, dice and more. This pouch will help keep your Antari tokens handy for all your travels between the worlds. So it like... it pops. Closed to keep everything safe. So that's cool. I've never received anything like this from a book box before. The fact that it's grey and it's like quite a subtle design means that a lot of people will be able to get use out of this. It's not very overtly bookish. And that is designed by No One Designs. That's really enjoyable. And yes, definitely inspired by a Dark Shade of Magic. Then we have... Okay, I've seen this because they did an item reveal for this because it's the first in another series that they're doing and it's really weird but also kind of cool. And again, something that I'm going to be giving to my friend because I'm not a Lord of the Rings fan and I already know that I'm going to be giving this to him. I'm pretty sure I already sent it to him on Instagram and said, look, you're getting something in my April box. But this is called a story doorway. And I'm not going to be able to open the box now because I've built it up too much. This is a story doorway, right? So, ooh, it's like, what? Oh, I just assumed that, like, well, how does it go together? I just thought it was going to be, like, wooden. That's interesting. And it says, home is behind the world ahead, and there are many paths to tread. And basically what you do is you, like, slot, I'm guessing. Oh, am I going to fuck this up? Do I want to risk? Ooh. No, I'm not going to risk, like, forcing it. I'm just going to read the instructions. Bear with me for a moment. There are no instructions. What? What? I was not expecting there to be, like, a random metal bit. Does it go inside? Okay, so marks down for, like, this being really freaking difficult to understand. Because I don't know what's going on here. I'll just kind of like sit it on it for the moment and then I'll let Sean play with that later and then if he breaks it, well, no, I can just give it straight to Gary and be like, oh, you can figure out how to put it together, that's fine. But look, it's like a doorway and then you like stand it on your bookshelf and I'm guessing you probably use this thing to like slot it in and stand it somehow, but I can't, like, the shapes do not add up in my head. I can't figure out how to do it. I'm not an engineer. I don't do the making of things. But yeah, this is a cool idea. I don't think they're ever going to appeal to me because, again, I don't really like the decorative items. But I'm really fascinated to see what other doorways they pick because doorways seems like such an obscure... Like, yeah, let's do a new collectible. It's doorways. Seems like a really weird choice, but a lot of people are very excited about it, and I'm interested to see where it goes, even if I have no idea how to use it. This is another one of those things that I'm like, yeah. When this episode goes up, I'm going to look like such an idiot, and you're all going to be commenting and being like, well, why don't you know how to use that doorway thing? And I'll be like, because there's no instructions, and I'm sorry. But yes, please, if you know how to use the doorway, please do comment, because that would help me a lot. But yeah, like, that's got more of, like, a novelty factor rather than a useful factor for me. But again, I can give it to my friend. He's obsessed with Lord of the Rings, and I hate it. I know that's unpopular. I'm sorry. We've then got a big circle box. Okay. So this is, once again, an embroidery kit. So this is the second one of these that they've done. They did a Night Court Sarah J Maas one last year. And this is like a... Why is the doorbell going? that's my neighbour, I'm going to kill him. I'm literally going to kill him. I'm going to kill him dead. Oh, guess what? It was my neighbour. Oh, I left a note through your door to ask Sean to drop my shopping off in the morning. So why are you here after 9 o'clock at night? When you want it dropped off in the morning. Oh my god, it's fine. Meditation. Let's get back into this. So we've got an embroidery hoop with what I'm guessing is like a little, like a window. You can embroider a little window with a sword on it. I'm not sure. I don't really know anything about embroidery. But it's got like, it's hard to make you see it because it's like transparent so that you can like stitch on it, but it's like a sword in like a square. You can't see that at all, can you? Oh, I'll put it in the close-up, it's fine. But yeah, so you've got like the needles and the embroidery stuff, like your threads and things, and then you can embroider it. And I kind of feel the same way about these as I do about the paper craft kits. It was a novelty the first time. Oh my god, they're trying to teach you how to embroider. That's really cool. And now this time it's like, but I didn't have time to do the last one, and I don't have time to do this one, and I'm not really interested in making a rectangle with a sword in the middle of it. So again, this will be really, really great for people who are creative and crafty, but I'm not creative or crafty, and I'm not probably going to use it. So this will just go and live in a box somewhere with the best of intentions. Like, I will plan to use it, I will just never use it. And I can be honest with myself about that. So this will just go and like die in a box somewhere. Pretty. Very worth the money, because I'm sure embroidery kits cost quite an amount, but just not for me. So, I mean, I love the pin badges. I love the pin badges, and I love the little travel pouch. So this is kind of like 50-50 at the moment. But again, I feel like I've just got very particular tastes. Then we've got a little bag, which feels like it's got dice in it. Ooh, what's going on in here? Ooh. Oh, they're just... What? Oh, this is Witcher stuff, I think. Oh no, is this Game of Thrones? What in the hell is going on in here? Yeah, that's a Targaryen, and then that's a Lannister, and then that's a Stark. What the fuck are they? Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know they existed. These are goblet stones. And goblet stones go in your freezer. You wash them by hand first, and then you wash them between uses. But you chill them in your freezer, and then you add them to your drink, and it's like a reusable ice cube, but it's a stone. It says that they're made of food-safe soapstone and can be used over and over again. I've never heard of food-safe stones. I've never heard of goblet stones. I've never wanted anything like this before, but fucking hell, I want it now. We've got some of those like reusable ice cubes, the little silicone ones, but they don't stay cold for very long, and then they just float in your drink and make you feel like, oh, I've got like fruit in my drink, but you don't, because they don't taste of anything, and they're not really that cold. But with these, you can have friends over and you can like put them in, and then you can be like, what house are you going to be? And then they'll like drink it, and then they'll be like, oh, I'm a Stark. That's really dumb. That sounds like fun to me, but you could make it like a game. Like, oh, whoever's the Stark gets decapitated at the end of the night. That could be a fun pie. Wow, I mean, they're freezing. They're absolutely freezing, and they haven't even been in the freezer yet. They're so cold, just naturally, that I think these could work really well. I will try to do like a little vlog update, like a little short at some point once I actually use these, to let you guys know whether they actually work, because dang, they're a great idea. They feel really weird, but I don't know if that's just because they're like new. They just feel really kind of chalky, but I will wash these well, and then I will try them, and then I'll let you know whether I'm going to be getting decapitated if I get the Stark one. But yes, so these are designed by Team OwlCrate, and oh, it literally says on the pouch, winter is coming. That's clever, because winter with the coldness of the drink will also winter like the Game of Thrones thing. I like that. I like that a lot. So, so again, we're getting like a hit and miss box. But let's look at the book. Because I can see the cover. I've seen a bit of the cover and I like it a lot because, oh my fucking god, the foiling. Stories are always more beautiful than the truth. That is a oh, gilded edges. It's not often that we get an OwlCrate book with sprayed edges, but they've done gilded edges 2 months in a row now, and that is sick. And you know what? Their gilded edges don't look like they're underwater. They do not look wobbly or wavy. So that might be a point in their favour, even though they're not stenciled edges. Ah, jeez Louise. Okay, let's crack this bad boy open. Oh. I guess if they're the same height, I could put this dust jacket on the wavy sword book, but I also just kind of like the gilded edges. Ooh, it's just so sleek. Like the colour scheme. The grey foiling with like the grey frame and the, oh, she's very pretty. She's very beautiful. And again, I'm not going to read out the synopsis again, even though this is much longer and very different because it's obviously the American synopsis, but we're not going to go into it because I don't want to give you like spoilers if you've already heard the first synopsis. But we've got, fuck me, foiled end papers with like these stamps. And the stamps say, in ages past, in a kingdom lost to time, a king named Arthur ruled man and fair folk alike. And then the other one says, dark of heart, silver in the bone. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, those are beautiful. I mean, I'm sorry I'm swearing so much, but like, this is a shock. I thought I was going to like this, but I didn't think I would like it this much. Ooh. Silver Sharpie to match all the foiling. That is a nice touch. Then we've got under the dust jacket artwork of a very spooky mansion. And it makes it look a lot older compared to the FairyLoot one, where it's like there's a girl and her boy and they're like on the beach having a good time. This feels much more like it suits the mood of the book from what I've seen from early reviews and from what I've heard myself. And we've also got under the dust jacket artwork that makes the characters look quite a bit older. They look a lot more mature. They don't look as kind of chibified, which makes me wonder whether this is on the older end of YA, and FairyLoot's edition has just made it look very young. So I'm looking forward to reading it and then kind of deciding that afterwards. Because I feel like I can't really know going into it. I can't judge the artwork at this point because I don't know, like, oh yeah, no, that makes the kids look really, really young, or like, actually that makes them look like too old and that doesn't really work. The foiled end papers are the same at the back as well, which is very cool. But damn, this is just stunning. This is what they should have gone with as the original cover, to be honest. Like, why would you want a boring ass sword with like, oh, we've got a sword and some hands and it looks really edgy, when you could have something like this that actually looks so captivating. And now I have a struggle because I don't think I can let OwlCrate win this month. Because I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the embroidery hoop, and I'm not really a fan of the doorway because like it's not obvious how it goes together. Does it actually tell you on here? Oh, I also forgot to even tell you who designed half of this because I got too excited. So it's an embroidery bookmark kit. So it's actually like, that's the reason it's a rectangle, because it's a bookmark. And this is designed by 4 Seasons Fox. And that comes with instructions on the back. But then it doesn't actually tell you at all, even on here. The story doorway is designed with love by Ice Wreath. First in a new ongoing collection. Display them on your shelves or as a bookend. But it, again, doesn't tell you how to put it together. And if I can't get it to like slot together easily, am I doing something wrong, or should you have put instructions in your box? I don't know. But yes, also I need to give you the artist information from this. The reverse dust jacket art is Anta Arf, and the foiled end pages are by Divine Literary. Stunning. The exclusive cover is by artist Sveta Ignatova. But I can't give them the win because of that doorway. Because if you can't get it to go together, you can't use it. And I don't want to do the embroidery kit. Which means, in a battle of the books, let us be honest. Let us just, for a second, throw this out of the water. Throw this out the window? Just throw it. Let's just throw everything. I'm just throwing stuff right now. Between these two, this. Between these two, this. Between this and this, right? OwlCrate wins for the book. FairyLoot wins for the box. And I hate that. I shouldn't have favourites. I don't have favourites as such. It's just the fact that OwlCrate have done such a beautiful book design that I feel like the box just lets it down. And recently they've been doing such tight boxes, like the theme has matched the items, has matched the books, and it's been smooth and it's been stunning. This feels very bitty. You've got a hedge witch thing, you've got a dark shade of magic thing, you've got a random doorway. It feels like we're going down like an elven kind of folk tale, kind of like Hobbit-esque story, and then you get an Arthurian telling. It doesn't feel cohesive like their boxes normally do. So I can't give it to it. I can't. So congratulations, FairyLoot, on winning your first book box battle of 2023.